Hello everyone, my name is Julia. I'm a certified Montessori teacher. I'm also a mom of a 14-month-old named Isaac and a stepmom to an 8-year-old named Asher. Today's video is going to be all about how to tell if a toy is Montessori inspired or Montessori in style. In this video, I'm going to give you 6 questions that you can ask yourself if you are shopping or if you are looking for gift ideas for any age group. If you are looking to set up a Montessori-inspired playroom or shelf for your child, no matter what their age is, it can be very overwhelming to look online or go into a store and see all the varieties and all the different kinds of developmental toys or fine motor skill or STEAM-based approaches to toys and try and select from that what would be most appropriate for your child at home. I have made a whole mini series on shelf setup in particular. I will include all the links in the description below so you can go check out some more details for up to ages 9. I also wanted to give you guys some direction on where to start because it is overwhelming. There are lots of companies that make Montessori inspired materials. There are the Montessori materials themselves, and there's lots of other kinds of toys that could be considered Montessori, just you may not have thought of them in that way before. So the first question you can ask yourself when you are toy or activity shopping is it simple? And what this question really means is it natural? Is it as close to natural material as possible? And does it avoid flashiness and over-the-top sparkliness and all sorts of complicated options that can be available in this setting or that setting or whatever setting? Simplicity is key. A child needs to be able to be absorbed completely in whatever they are doing. And if there's too many options or if there's too many distractions presented in a toy or activity for them, they will quickly lose interest because it is overstimulating. Imagine if you were at a buffet and there's 5 different kinds of international cuisines to choose from, and you came inside to that restaurant thinking, okay, I'm going to go do one thing, but suddenly the smells and the textures and the tastes of so many other types of cuisines are attracting to you, and you find yourself frozen in the middle of the buffet, not knowing what to select to eat. It's the same with a toy, which is why you usually see Montessori toys as wooden, colored very simply, if colored at all, and not with any buttons to push that make noises or music or have flashing lights. That being said, and I have mentioned this in my shelf setup video as well, I don't think that plastic toys are to be shunned. I think there's a lot of really good quality, simple plastic toys out there that are Montessori in style and are not flashy. So the first thing you want to look for is for the simplicity of what it actually is. The second question you want to ask yourself is it durable? And if the answer is yes, then you can tick off that box as well. If it is not durable, sometimes there's only one way to find that out. Unfortunately, you may think something is durable and your child might approach it in a way that perhaps is akin to a rhinoceros trying to crack an egg open with their horn. You never know. So sometimes that question can be trial and error, but most of the time you will be able to tell whether it is durable or not. Materials that are generally more durable are those hard woods or hard plastics. Anything soft plastic or anything with balsa wood or other very thin sort of reed or cardstocky materials are not going to last you that long. So if your child tends to be a bit rougher with their toys or is going through some sort of schema that is causing them to interact with the things around them in a different kind of way than usual, consider finding a version of whatever is interesting to you or to them that is more durable. The third question you can ask yourself is this toy based in reality? And what that means is it promoting skills and practical forms of movement that a child is going to be doing at some point in the real world? Also, in today's age of Disney World and of lots of franchises, Paw Patrol, Frozen, I mean, you name it, all those franchises that cater to a child's, particularly a young child's, love and or obsession with a certain movie or a certain character. If a toy is catering to that, that is not actually based in reality, that's fantasy. And so we do want to avoid that. So you will not see any Montessori playrooms or daycares or preschools that have things like Barbie dolls or dress up Batman or Superman, that kind of thing, because those toys are not based in reality. They do not promote any sort of skill that will be used in the real world at some point. The fourth question you can ask yourself, does this toy or activity require manipulation, experimentation, and full body interaction? A key element of Montessori materials is that the child learns not just by seeing or by rote practice, but by doing, and that the doing of that activity in fact enhances and reinforces the full body learning of something, which is a deeper form of learning and is much longer lasting. So again, we're looking at toys that don't just have one button to push or a flat 2D surface to manipulate. We're looking at, for any specific toys or activities that require grasping, pulling, using your hands in many different ways, perhaps getting up and moving around, using your legs, using your whole body in some way. And the experimentation part goes along with that. You experiment by doing. You don't experiment by just sitting back and looking. That's observation, and that's the adult's job in the equation. And to go along with that comes question number 5, which is it self-correcting? And I would say that this is probably the most important question that you could ask yourself to get started on Montessori if you are uncertain where to start. A Montessori style toy is self-correcting, meaning that a child will be able to do it independently and see or recognize at some point if they've made an error, and the material itself will show them that they've made that error that they need to fix. An example is my toddler Isaac was playing with his stacking cups, and he put the smallest one inside as in 3rd place, and he recognized that the one after that wouldn't fit, so he had to figure out a way to redo it. Same thing with any of the puzzles or the pegboards or the geometric shapes. Self-correction is huge in promoting that independence and that feeling of success and problem-solving skills. You don't want your child coming up to you every 5 minutes asking you for your help to fix or to problem-solve something that they're doing. They can practice problem-solving by themselves. And so the self-correction promotes all those things without your direct involvement as the adult, which is key. And the final question that you can ask yourself is, does this activity or toy have progressions that expand upon the initial skill learnt and can expand in a way that it becomes more complex and perhaps even cross-curricular? So quite often you'll see Montessori progressions as specific orderly concepts that introduce a new expansion on the initial skill in very slow and structured ways. So an example might be, say for geometry, at first a child would learn that a circular puzzle piece fits in a circular inset, and then they might move to 3 circular insets of varying sizes. So that's the next up level of complexity. A child might start off by learning addition and then learn addition with carryovers and regrouping. That's the next level of complexity. So if you find a material that starts off at one level, and remember that you know what your child's level is the best because you spent the most time with them, you know exactly where they're at, that wherever you're starting off, is there something next that will provide increased stimulation, but also building upon their prior knowledge skills and the skills that they've already founded from having practiced? And if the answer is yes, then great. So there you go. Those are my 6 questions that you can ask yourself when you are doing any sort of hunting or shopping for Montessori style materials to have at home for your child. I just want to mention a couple of examples of things that may not seem Montessori but are, because they do answer all these questions. The biggest one is Lego. Lego and Duplo are very Montessori in that they're an open-ended toy with varying levels and progressions, skills, and complexity. They require the fine motor skills, they require physical manipulation, they are self-correcting, they tick all the boxes. Other Montessori style materials include kinetic sand, Play-Doh if they are in certain colors and introduced in the primary colors first, wooden blocks, puzzles, whether they are the block chunky puzzles or a larger, say 300-piece puzzle that have objects or pictures that are realistic or in real life, any sort of color sorting toys or objects, any kind of practical life toys which can be used in real life. So I hope those 6 questions have given you a good place to start in one way or another. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and in the meantime, stay safe and stay sane.